let's move to the last presentation. It's about 40 minutes.
The time you need. You know, the idea is to introduce you what digital transformation.
Meanwhile, the panel meets. He will give a talk about the power of social networks. He's a specialist in this topic, and we thought that it's important for you to have a last lesson or a last presentation about this topic for your future and so on. David is a lecturer from UPB, from the Communication Faculty, and please,
yeah. Well, I'm Roldán Martínez. I'm a lecturer here, associate lecturer, and also I'm researcher in RAIN, which is the Valencian Research Institute about Artificial Intelligence. And I'm also senior solutions architect at Sensedia, which is a global digital transformation provider. The aim of the talk is to offer you an overview of what digital transformation, digital university is, and how we can use social networks to create personal branding for students, researchers, and lecturers. So we are going to, I will give you a quick overview of about digital transformation, and then we will move to LinkedIn. So if you have your laptop here or computer or whatever, and you want to open your own LinkedIn profile, because I try to give you some insights about how to build a good profile, which is something key and of paramount importance. If you want to create your personal brand there, it would be nice. In the meantime, I will. Okay, well, this is the agenda. Come on. Which is digital transformation? Digital transformation means to embrace digital tools, digital processes inside an organization. Despite the name, digital, which will involve you may think that it will be only a technical issue. It isn't. Digital transformation it has three main axes: technology, of course, but also processes and culture. You will need a change of mindset, because the way you think, the way you act is completely transformed. So it's key to have always in mind that this is, of course, a technology solution, but there are also other aspects that are as important as technology in the digital transformation, right? Come on. Okay, social media. I know that you know come on. Venga. ¿Estamos todos? Okay. I'm sure you know what social networks is, but that's why I want to focus only on the opportunities. So, social media or social networks allows you to position yourself as a reference expert in the world. You know, the social media are a window that is open to the world to position you as reference person. That's why having a good LinkedIn profile and also a marketing strategy to drive how you are going to create content and to add value to the network is key. Okay, as you grow, your institution also grows. That's why in digital transformation, marketing is key. It's very important because you have to know the changing the mindset I refer means that you have to focus your attention on your end customers or your end users, which, for example, in your university will be researchers, lecturers, administration, of course, the students, but also the rest of the society. You know, university is not living on their own. They are an important part of the society. So you have to interact with everybody, okay? So, but you have to focus your thoughts, your actions, your processes, your whatever in delivering value to the rest of the world. Okay, so when you interact with social media or when you post something at LinkedIn, this is not Facebook or Instagram. You know, you have to provide value. You want to position yourself as an expert in the world. The key is to provide value. Think that only about 1% of the people with a LinkedIn account is providing content. So the opportunity for you to position yourself is really huge. But you cannot do only just, I'm going to post today this thing, tomorrow. You have to follow a strategy. And there are some rules, that you have to follow, or some tips. I prefer tips. That you have to consider when you are posting or interacting with the social media. Okay, next. So let's go to work. But remember that digital transformation is mainly a technological process, but there are also other aspects you have to consider to embrace that kind of change. And social media is a very powerful tool to position yourself and your institution as a reference in the world. Okay, that's marketing. So let me open my LinkedIn profile. Open your LinkedIn profile. All of you have a LinkedIn account?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. If you have any doubts, suggestion, question, whatever, just raise your hand and ask. No problem at all. Vale. Uy. Uy. Dios mío, me cago en la. Me cago en.
Lots of passwords.
Exactly.
Ahora.
It's a question of memory.
Sí. Se llama la realidad. Okay. So, vale. There are 5 types of LinkedIn profile, depending on the strength of your profile. So the aim to become reference is to have the highest one, which is called all-star. So the tips I'm going to share with you today are aimed to help you to build your all-star profile. Mine is all-star. You have to invest too much time on that, because your profile has to reflect your mission, your vision, your values. You cannot project in your profile something that you aren't. So don't try to, of course, don't lie. But you have to make a kind of internal reflection about where you are now and where you want to be. And then make a strategy to achieve your desired positions. So, first thing is to assess yourself about, hey, where I'm now, what is the value I can add to the network, and then you have to make your to-be assessment to know, okay, I want to be a reference in these two fields, for example. Think about it. So once you know which are where you want to go, next step is to start the journey to that place. So important here are, of course, the profile pictures. The profile pictures has to be a mirror of what you want to do. What are you offering to the network? So don't send, of course, a picture of you on the beach or in a race or in a party. Okay, this is a professional network. So this is part of your brand. Of course, if you think you can add value because you are a professional sportsman, you can put here a profile picture in the pool playing water polo. Okay, but we are now more focused on institutional behavior. Okay, so for example, if you are a researcher, it should be nice a picture on the lab, or if you are a lecturer, a picture on a class or on a keynote, or if you are a student, try to think about it. Okay, then useful tips. This position should be nice, or try to be relaxed. Okay, this is not the police, not like this, not like this. Okay, it's very important, that kind of things. It's part of your message. Think that when you are seeing you are using LinkedIn and you are looking for contacts, the first thing you see is the picture. So you have to the picture is a tool to get the attention of the other part. Nobody is going to contact you if you don't call their attention. So this is very important. Also, the header, that part. Of course, you can put any picture you want, but remember that this is also a way of delivering your message. So, for example, in my case, my use of LinkedIn is professional. My aim is to become an expert, to become a reference person in APIs, digital transformation, open economy, artificial intelligence. That's why here I repeat all of this. Then, and also in the rest of my profile, I will share with you the tips after. Then, and I want people to contact me because I'm aligned with the marketing strategy of my company. So this is a powerful tool for selling or for pre-selling. So if you have any doubt, any question about digital transformation, please call me. Contact me. I will guide you in your journey. You are not going to be alone. Do you understand? You take the idea? So for example, imagine that you are a researcher and you want to look for partners for European projects. You can use something like that. Contact me. You can put here, contact me. I'm always open to collaborate, for example, right? Then, next step here, the name. The name should be your name, obvious. So don't put, don't know. There are people that put here, David Roldán Martínez, senior no sé cuánto, no sé cuánto, senior something. Okay, don't do it. Put your name, your complete name. In my opinion, if you have, for example, if here in Spain, we have two surnames. Two surnames, put the complete name. Why? Because it will identify you. Okay, then another thing, the URL. If you see the URL, it's also my name. LinkedIn generates another URL for you, including numbers. That's very accurate. You know, if you can change it. If you go here in me or not here in edit profile and URL, you can change it. Change the URL and put your name and your surnames. Because if someone sees your URL, will know how to identify you. And this is easier to contact you. Okay, because it takes the attention, right? Then here, this is your headline. Your headline should be and reflect all your personal branding. If someone reads your headline, has to know what do you know, which value you are adding, and how do you do things. So if you read it, you know what my fields of expertise. Do you think they are clear? Do you think they are clear? I'm good and I'm an API strategy. I know about digital transformation, open banking, open finance, open data. What I'm doing, I architect your IT to achieve your challenges. So if you are a potential customer, partner, contact, you know what I'm going to do. You know which is the value I'm offering. And then I like to include also a quote that will reflect my own values. I think it's good. Why? Because there is no common to do this, and this contributes to your differentiation. And remember that what you want, the aim of personal branding, is to be able of everybody to be aware about how to contact you and not the others. Why? Why they are going to use to contact you instead of you? You know, because you are unique. But because you are unique, you have to reflect your uniqueness in your profile. That's why I told you, building a good LinkedIn profile will take a lot of time, because you have to make a kind of reflection and projection, and that's not easy. Okay, then important here. When you say you are an expert in these 5-6 fields, and you know that you are going, of course, if you are a researcher, a lecturer, a student, you are going to create content. LinkedIn allows you to specify about what you are going to talk about, which is this part. If you see, I'm using the same hashtags or keywords. LinkedIn hashtags are called keywords, and are related directly with the topics I'm an expert. You know, which is a keyword. a keyword here, a hashtag, is a kind of channel. So if you subscribe to one of that channels, you will be receiving publications of people that maybe can be in your network or not, but they are posting about these hashtags, these topics. Okay, so LinkedIn is offering you a possibility of connecting people that otherwise you won't be able to reach, or not to reach easily. Because when you post something in the network, that post is shown to your first contacts and some of their second level contacts. A second level is a contact or a first level contact of one of your first contacts, first level contacts. Then, but hashtags, in hashtags, you can see the publications of people that are more than 3 levels of contact. So you have not to look for people related with your expertise, because LinkedIn is serving you. Okay, by using hashtags. So choosing the most appropriate hashtag is important. So I recommend you to use, of course, the hashtags you want to become an expert at. Okay, so if you want to position yourself as an expert in, artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence should be included here, but also here, right? Another important thing in the profile is the About section. In the About section, you have to offer the same that in your headline, but of course you have more space to tell things. But the idea is the same. You have to highlight in which fields you are the best. How do you think? Offer also a brief background of your professional life, your skills, and also how are you doing? What do you do, and how do you do it? So my suggestion is to use emojis to separate different sections. Why? Because it's not common. Remember, we want to differentiate ourselves. So anything, not anything, but almost anything you can do, you will be able to do to differentiate yourself is welcome. Okay? So, but remember, you have to be clear in the message. So the first step is to engage the audience, be clear in the message, and call to action. For example, if you read this and you want to contact me, here you can ask me for we can schedule a quick meeting of, I don't know, I can remember it's 15 minutes or 30 minutes. Try to do something like that. Why? Because it's not common. Are you taking the idea? Yeah? So, in the About, the most important section are the 3 first lines. Why? Because when this is contracted, what you only can see is this part. So you have to engage the audience here. Okay? You have to raise the expectations. You have to push the audience to click to see the whole About. If someone reads the profile, the next action should be, hey, I want to have this guy in my network. Okay, and then ask you for connection. That's the idea. So remember, be clear in the message and call to action. Try to differentiate yourself. Okay? Don't copy the same. Next. Well, when I describe, one thing. To have an all-star profile, you have to try to include content in all the sectors, because I'm sure you can. You have professional experience, you have educational background, you have training, you have, for sure, you have interest. For example, this is something that I try to make my students to be aware. Of course, you are in your last courses. Probably you don't have professional experience or not too much, but even of that you can add value. Because, for example, you like to play rugby or water polo. That gives you an idea of your soft skills. You are able to work in teams. So from a professional perspective, including here that you are a good water polo player, it's great. No, because the recruiter will say, "Hey, this is good to work in teams." No, or you like, ultra distance triathlon, include it. Why? Because this shows that you have resilience, you are a constant people, you are very persistent, you have discipline. That's good also. Or, for example, you are participating in volunteer projects with Red Cross or whatever. Also put it. You have to remember that this is your book. No? You have the power to write it. So you have to include all the information you can. Okay, because everything has value. Or you like, you love pets, include it also. Because it shows you have compassion, or you like to take care of other souls. Okay, then how to include here an experience description. It's important to know that when someone reads your description, of course, if you read enterprise architect, for example, by default, for example, if imagine that a recruiter is looking for people for a position, and they are looking enterprise architects. Okay, they know what an enterprise architect does, right? So try not to put in columns. Okay, try not to put only the task that you have done. You have to focus on what you have achieved. Okay, so I'm enterprise architect, and what I do was to translate, for example, I have an example of that here. That will be more clear. For example, I was software architect here at UPB 3 years ago. So if you are looking for a software architect, you know what a software architect does. Nothing. Okay, but okay, which were my achievements during my stage as software architect here? I was the one who built the virtual campus from scratch, and I was the one who built Lebron also from scratch. What does it mean? It means that I'm able to create projects from scratch. If you only include my main duties are analyze user requirements, blah 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 blah. Okay, that's good, but how are you doing things? Which value are you able to offer to my organization? You don't know. That's why my recommendation is to include your achievements, and also, just in case, a short description the tasks or your duties during that professional stage. Okay, but focus mainly in your achievements. Another important section here is the skills. You can have skills here in two ways. One is taking a skill quiz, which is its default quizzes that LinkedIn propose you to pass, and if you pass that quiz, LinkedIn supports you when you say that you are good at open banking or whatever. For example, let me see, I have some badges here. For example, here, when you pass a LinkedIn assessment, you will receive a badge from LinkedIn supporting that you have that skill. Or your connections can also support you when you say that you are highly skilled in open banking, for example. Okay? So this means that in LinkedIn you want to build relationships. So you have to endorse people, or you have to endorse other people's skills. So if you from time to time look at your connection and try to endorse them skills, because if you give, you will receive. Okay, the same happens with recommendations. For example, I every week or every 2 weeks, I try to book a slot of 30 minutes or so to give recommendations to other people, because that gives a kind of trust. You know, if someone is looking for example, if someone is looking a solutions architect for open banking and see that other customers has supported me and say, hey, this guy is really good in open banking, they will be easier to build a trust relationship between them. You know what I mean? So you have to give your recommendations and also ask for recommendations. But recommendation should not be, he's very good, and that's all. He's very nice. No. Your recommendation should be like this. Look, for example. For example, this one. Yeah. Okay, you have to say more beyond. He's really nice. You have to justify why you are giving the recommendation. If you want, which point of my interaction with you were the best for you? Which value I added to your project, your program, your whatever, right? Okay, publications. Include here any publications you have. Books, articles. Here, important. Include all the publications. For example, I have more than 20 books about technology, but I also love poetry and sports. So I decided to write 2 books, one about poetry, and by the way, all of them are in Amazon, so if you want to buy them, just click. They are very cheap. verify the read. So if you want to, if you like to write and you have publications that are not directly related with your main area of professional expertise, no worries at all. Include it also, because it will they are also a part of you. And remember that I have said that your LinkedIn profile should reflect you as a whole. So if you like cooking and you have write a book about cooking, include it. Okay? In your profile, you should include everything. Another thing is what happens with your marketing strategy, not marketing, with your publication strategy. If you want to position yourself as a reference of APIs, please don't post how to cook your tortilla española. Okay, that's another thing. But in your profile, it should be everything, because everything has value, right? So please, take your profile and try to fill all the sections. If anybody needs help, please ping me. Just send me a connection request. I accept almost everything. Important. When you are requesting a connection, think that you have to introduce yourself, not just clicking in connect and that's all. Notice, for example, imagine that someone is knocking at the door, at your home. You open the door and directly enters. How you will feel? Right? This is the same. So you have to send a short message. For example, hi. Try to personalize them. This is very important. Hi, blah blah blah. As we share common interest, I would like to have you in my network. Have a good day. Thank you very much. That's enough. Okay? The interaction changes a lot. Not just knocking at the door and just entering. That doesn't work. Remember that the aim here is to build a trust in the relation. So we have to do it from the very beginning. Okay? So when you request a connection, introduce yourself briefly. I think you have only 300 characters, but it's enough to say, hi, I would like to have you in my network. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Enjoy your life. Okay? That's very important. More things. Of course, if you have any awards, include it, languages, and I think it's enough. Then, okay. This index is very important, but not the most important thing when you post something in LinkedIn. Why? Because it gives you an idea of your visibility, of the impact you are having in the network. So as you see, the index depends on four things. First, how to establish your professional brand. This means the first is to have a non-star LinkedIn profile. This will help. This is a good contribution inside here. Your personal brand. Then you have to widen your audience, your network. The most wide your network is, the most impact you probably can have. Okay, so but you have to find the right people. Don't believe in what I think because my index here is low. But that's why I am. Yeah. Okay. So you have to look for quality connections. Quality means that your connections should be on the areas you want to become an expert. My index is too low because I access almost everything because I'm working at Sensedia, so I'm interested in business things. I'm also a researcher at Brain, so I'm also interested in research, and I'm also a lecturer, so I'm also interested in another sector. So my audience is very wide, and this makes that it can be a misalignment between my really expertise in the things I'm publishing and my audience. My audience is very broad. Vale, but I'm only posting about APIs, digital transformation, artificial intelligence. But for example, if you are a student, I will accept you independently of if you are interested in digital transformation, APIs, or whatever. That makes that index to get lower. Then engage with insight. What this means that you have to interact with the network. It's not only enough by only posting your post, creating your post. You have to interact with other posts. So commenting, reacting, the most discussions you are able to raise or to create, the better. It will give you a more elevated index. And also with relationships. With relationships, I have the maximum score there, means that you are always reacting to other people, creating insights, broadening your networks, interacting with your contacts. It's not only the aim is not to collect contacts, but interact with them. So if you have a really huge audience, but you are not interacting with them from time to time, that will be lower your impact. Okay, so I'm going to conclude because we are running out of time. If you want to ask me for a connection, then write me. You know the rules. Introduce yourself first, and I can help you by reviewing your LinkedIn profile, or if you have any doubt on how to create your posting strategy or whatever. My pleasure to help you. Okay, so that's all.